Welcome to the deep dive. We're the place that takes that huge pile of source material and boils it right down to the core insights you need.
That's the goal.
Today, we're digging into a cricket match that honestly almost broke my brain watching it unfold. The first T20I between Afghanistan and Bangladesh in Sharjah.
Yeah, this one was something else.
It started looking like a straightforward chase, then completely flipped into this nail-biting survival story for the team that eventually won. Just wild swings.
And you have to remember the backdrop here. Our sources really stressed this wasn't just another game. Afghanistan were, and I quote, seeking revenge for that Asia Cup loss to Bangladesh.
Right, so emotions were high from ball one.
Exactly. Big stakes for a series opener.
Okay, quick facts to set the scene. Afghanistan won the toss, chose to bat first. Venue was Sharjah Cricket Stadium, known for spin, right?
Usually, yeah. Can get tricky later on.
And the final result, just the headline, Bangladesh won by 4 wickets. But wow, that doesn't tell even half the story.
Not even close.
Our mission today is really to unpack how Bangladesh pulled this off, especially after, well, one of the most dramatic collapses you're likely to see in T20 cricket.
It's perfect for a deep dive because, like you said, the momentum shifts were just whiplash-inducing. It wasn't one moment, it was several, starting right from Afghanistan's innings.
Okay, let's get into that first innings then. Afghanistan batting first. It was a really rocky start for them, wasn't it? Bangladesh seemed to really put them under pressure early.
Oh, definitely. Bangladesh executed their early plans brilliantly. They didn't just contain, they took key wickets. Afghanistan found themselves, what was it, 33 for 3 after the power play?
Yeah, 33 for 3. So what were the bowlers doing right? Who stood out?
Well, the analysis points to Tanzid Hasan and the leg spinner Rashid Khan. They apparently combined superbly in what was called a demolition job early on.
A demolition job, okay. Any specifics?
Yeah, Nasim Ahmed got Ibrahim Zadran early with a sort of slower ball that deceived him. Then Tanzim Saqib got Siddiqullah Atal.
And wasn't there a crucial run out in there too? That always signals a bit of panic.
That's right. Good point. Mustafizur Rahman applied pressure, forced a mix-up. Gurbaz was less stranded when Razuli refused the single. Just chaos between the wickets.
And Gurbaz himself looked furious. He had to go back. That kind of thing just kills momentum.
It absolutely does. And then shortly after, Rashid Hossain picked up on Azmatullah's wicket too. So the top order was really struggling.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned that run out because the sources mention the Afghanistan coach later talked about bad fielding being a major issue. Seeing that early mix-up kind of highlights his point, right? Maybe it wasn't just technique, but composure under pressure.
I think that's a really sharp observation. It sets a theme, doesn't it? These small errors, they really add up, especially in T20. But look, despite being in trouble, Afghanistan did fight back.
Right, because they didn't completely collapse. The experienced guys stepped up. Rahmanullah Gurbaz, even after being part of that run-out confusion, he played a really important innings, didn't he?
He really did. Showed a lot of fight. His 40 off 31 balls was crucial in just stabilizing things, stopping the rot. He kept them ticking over until Tanzim Saqib eventually got him with a well-disguised slower ball, a top spinner, I think it was.
Okay, so Gurbaz holds it together for a bit, and then Mohammad Nabi comes in. He provided some much-needed firepower.
Oh, absolutely vital cameo from Nabi. He knew what was needed acceleration. And he delivered. He famously took Taskin Ahmed apart in 1 over, smashing him for, 3 huge sixes.
Yeah, 3 towering sixes. That must have shifted the feeling in the dugout, gave them some hope. His 38 was pretty rapid.
Totally. That knock probably added 20, 30 runs to what they might have otherwise got. It pushed them towards something defendable.
But even Nabi couldn't see it through. Taskin got him back eventually.
He did, and credit to Taskin there. After being hit hard, he came back with a bit of skill, used a clever knuckleball, the source said. Just took the pace off, deceived Nabi, and got the wicket. Smart response.
So a bit of hitting at the end from Sherifuddin too, and Afghanistan managed to scramble up to 151 for 9.
Yep, 15-19.
Now, after being 33 for 3, getting over 150 feels like a decent recovery. Why did the analysis suggest this was actually a competitive total? 152 to win isn't usually that scary.
Well, 2 things, really. One, they clawed back momentum, which is important psychologically, but mainly it's about Afghanistan's strength. Their spin attack.
Rashid Khan and Noor Ahmad.
Exactly. On a Sharjah pitch, likely to slow down, 151 gave their world-class spinners something tangible to defend. It meant they were still very much in the game. They had a chance.
Okay, makes sense. Let's switch to the chase then. Target, 152. Bangladesh stepping out, probably feeling pretty confident. The win probability predictor apparently had them at like 61%.
Yeah, they were clear favorites at the innings break.
Yeah.
And they started like they knew it. Just absolutely flew out of the blocks.
The openers, Parvez Hossain Emon and Tanzid Hasan, they just went for it, didn't they?
Relentless. They attacked from the start, especially in the power play. 44 for nothing inside the first 5 overs. They clearly decided the best time to score was against the newer ball before the main spin threads came on.
Smart T20 batting. Get ahead of the rate early.
Precisely. And they didn't just start well. They built a massive partnership. This was highlighted as a potential turning point. They put on an unbroken 100 stand, 104 runs together.
104 for the first wicket. That's game over, usually.
Pretty much. Emon, who ended up being player of the match, was brilliant. 54 off just 37 balls, hit 4 fours, 3 sixes. Really commanding innings.
And Tanzid Hasan at the other end kept pace too.
Yeah, he played his part perfectly. 51 off, about 34, 35 balls. They just completely dominated that first phase of the chase, nullified the Afghan pace attack.
So let's paint the picture. It's the 11th over. Bangladesh are 104 for 0. They need, less than 50 runs with all 10 wickets in hand. The required rate is only about 7 and over.
Yeah, it looked completely done and dusted. I remember watching thinking, okay, early finish tonight. If you're Rashid Khan at that point, you must be thinking desperation time.
What else can you think? You have to try something drastic.
And that's exactly what he did. He brought himself back on. He knew he had to break that partnership, somehow find a way back into the contest. And boy, did he ever. He single-handedly sparked a stunning collapse.
Stunning doesn't even begin to cover it. It was almost unbelievable watching it happen. How did he do it? What was the magic in that spell?
It was vintage Rashid Khan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just pure skill under pressure. He ended up with figures of 4 for 18. Incredible.
4 for 18. Wow.
And it wasn't just about bowling dots. It was the variations, the psychological pressure. He used that ripping leg break, got drift and dip. But then, crucially, he'd slip in the googly. Batters just couldn't pick it.
Must have been terrifying for the new batters coming in, seeing wickets tumble like that.
Absolutely paralyzing. Because it wasn't just one wicket. Bangladesh went from 104 for 0, cruising along, to suddenly 116 for 4. Then it got even worse.
This is the crazy part. They lost, 5 wickets for just 8 runs at one point.
Yeah, something like that. An unbelievable cluster. They slumped to 125 for 6 eventually. The whole game just flipped on its head in maybe 3 or 4 overs.
And you could feel the shift. Suddenly, Afghanistan were buzzing. They were, as the source says, sniffing a famous comeback. They only needed 27 off the last 18 balls.
All the momentum was with Afghanistan. The pressure was immense.
And we saw clear signs of that pressure, didn't we? The sources highlighted that moment where a Bangladesh batter tried to review an LBW.
Oh, yeah. That was peak panic stations.
Only to be told they had no reviews left. They burned them earlier. That just screams, panic button has been pressed, doesn't it?
Completely. Rational thought goes out the window in those moments. They weren't thinking about the score, the resources, just reacting to the pressure Rashid was applying. Afghanistan genuinely looked like they might steal it.
So somehow Bangladesh had to stop the bleeding. They built this incredible platform with that opening stand, and it was about to be totally wasted. How did they regain composure?
Well, it took some real nerve from the lower middle order, specifically Nurul Hassan and Rashid Hussain again, actually.
And Nurul Hassan played the key innings at the end then.
He was the one who really turned the tide back in their favor, just when it felt like slipping away completely. He made a very calculated assault in the penultimate over, I think it was against Azmatullah.
What did he do?
Smashed 2 enormous sixes, just like that bang, bang. It brought the required runs right down. And crucially, it just broke that tension, eased the pressure valve.
That takes guts. Targeting the seamer, knowing the spinners were harder to get away.
Exactly. Calculated risk, perfectly executed. It was the decisive blow, really. Once he hit those sixes, the panic subsided a bit.
And then Rashid Hussain, who'd bowled well earlier, he helped finish it off.
No, he kept his cool alongside Nurul, knocked off the remaining runs, and they got home with an over to spare. 152 for 6 in the end.
What a roller coaster. I mean, just recapping it, Afghanistan's shaky start, the fight back to 151, then Bangladesh's unbelievable 104-run opening stand, making it look easy.
Seemed impossible to lose from there.
Then Rashid Khan's masterclass 4 for 18, sparking that insane collapse, 5 wickets for 8 runs.
Carnage. Pure T20 drama.
And finally, Nurul Hassan's clutch sixes and Rashid's composure just dragging Bangladesh over the line to take that 1-0 series lead. Unbelievable game.
Absolutely. And like we said, Parvez Hossain Emon rightly got player of the match for that crucial 54 up front. Without that foundation, Rashid Spell would have won the game easily for Afghanistan.
But you mentioned earlier there was a key takeaway from the losing side, from the Afghan coach. Let's circle back to that.
Right. The coach's comments afterwards are quite telling. He acknowledged Rashid was brilliant, obviously, and created chances, but he felt they ultimately helped Bangladesh get over the line.
How so? What was the specific critique?
He pointed directly at bad fielding, said they needed to improve their overall fielding unit and body language. It suggests dropped catches or misfields at crucial moments really cost them.
So Rashid's doing the hard work, creating the pressure, getting the edges, but the support wasn't quite there in the field.
That seems to be the implication. It wasn't a tactical failure in his eyes, or a lack of bowling depth necessarily, but fundamental execution under pressure. Catching, ground fielding, saving, runs the basics.
That's a really important distinction, isn't it? It's not about changing the game plan, but improving the execution of it.
Exactly. Because think about it, if your star bowler takes 4 for 18 in a T20, you should win that game 9 times out of 10, probably 10 times out of 10.
Especially defending 151.
Right. The fact they didn't suggest the core elements, the batting fight back from Gurbaz and Nabi, Rashid's genius, they're actually working. It's those moments of fielding laps, the execution, that let them down.
Okay, so that leaves us with a really interesting thought to ponder, maybe something for you listening to think about too as the series progresses. Given that even an almost perfect Hall of Fame spell from Rashid Khan wasn't enough on the day.
Which is incredible in itself.
Does the coach's focus on fixing the fielding and the team's consistency, rather than, say, calling for different players, suggest that maybe the basic structure of this Afghanistan team is actually pretty sound, that the talent is there, but it's really about nailing those high-pressure moments, tightening up the execution that needs to be corrected?
It kind of implies the solution is already within the squad, doesn't it? If they can just sharpen up that focus and execution when the heat is really on.
Something to watch out for in the next match, definitely.